Click. And we're live. It is Wednesday, December 15th, 2021, 5 o'clock p.m. And I want to say a word about my old nemesis, the blue Go Live button, which, if you're watching this on YouTube, you have seen, because every time I start, I say click. And that's actually the moment that I click the button on YouTube that says go live. It's not actually, but then somehow it doesn't say that we're live until several seconds
Oh, wait,
later.
is that
But it
true?
but it backdates the you were live until right around the time you click the button. So people always hear me start the show by saying click, which is admittedly a very
Oh,
peculiar way to start the show.
that's
So
funny.
if you are a YouTube viewer of In Lieu of Fun, first of all, I want to say come over to the dark side, because on Crowdcast you get the pregame show, which is really important. I mean, that's where all the backstory happens. You get the Greek chorus, which is really, that's high
You get to
quality.
participate in the polls.
You get to participate in the polls, and you get to see what happens as Kate and I daily do battle with the blue Go Live button.
It's true.
And so I just want to say this is the explanation for the word click at the beginning of the show.
Did someone
Don't
comment on it?
No, but
Oh,
I'm always living in fear that somebody will. We are not allowed to have fun anymore. We are allowed to play Where's the Lie, and today we are starting a new feature. It's Where's the Lie with a member of the audience. And I thought to myself, as I was thinking about how can I put together a show today doing as little work as humanly possible while allowing Kate to do even less, I said to myself, which member of the Greek chorus best embodies the spirit of Where's the Lie? That is, you can never quite tell whether any sentence that comes out of his mouth is entirely serious. He has a band that isn't real, that's named after ducks that wear pants, which they don't. And so there's a lot of kind of Where's the Lie packed into the person of E.G. Phillips, and I just thought he would be perfect. So I taunted him on Twitter. He capitulated, because that's what happens when you taunt people on Twitter. And here he is to play Where's the Lie? A reminder of the rules of the game. Number one, in the poll, which if you're here in Crowdcast, you can access. And if you're watching on YouTube, it's just not available to you. Another reason to switch over to the Crowdcast audience. You can vote anytime about whether E.G. Phillips is lying or whether he's telling the truth. You can change your vote at any time. E.G. Phillips will tell a story. It may involve music because he is a songwriter. It may not involve music because he may have been bullshitting me when he said there were going to be some songs. Uh, at the end, Kate will ask 3 questions. I will ask 3 questions. We will bring on members of the Greek chorus to interrogate E.G. Phillips about his story with 3 questions. If you want to be part of the interrogation panel, flag in the Q&A that you are available, and I will zap 3 of you on screen. And finally, the most important rule, you cannot Google any facts to see if they're true. E.g. gets one straight shot, one clean shot. You can use your memory about any events. You can chat about it in the Greek chorus. But if you use Google, you're technically, the term is fucking cheating. Those are the rules. E.G. Phillips, singer songwriter in San Francisco, longtime member of the Greek chorus, from the Midwest somewhere. The floor is yours.
Yes, one of those I states. They're indistinguishable at a certain point, at least topographically. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here for the introduction of this feature. And a high vote of confidence, I suppose, on the part of Mr. Wittes, that I must have such an honest face that I obviously get away with lying all the time. We're going to have also the inaugural use of song for the purpose of spinning our yarns. And I figured the way to approach this is I would do a small set of songs, because when it comes down to it, all songs are lies, but also all songs are true, and one should never let the truth get in the way of a good song. So to a certain degree, all songs get adulterated in the creative process to a certain degree. Therefore, the challenge I have for you is to listen to these songs, pick them apart, and find out which one is the most deviant from reality. So, and I will spare you the long soporific introductions I typically do to my songs, and let you take in the content therein, and then you can ask questions afterwards. But this, I will say, this first one is a bit of a travelogue, and it's called.
So wait, I got an important preparatory question. Mm-hmm. If the question is which of the three songs is closest to the truth, should we rewrite the poll?
I think that would be appropriate.
Yeah. All right. So, how should we word it? Which song is the lie, or which song is the truth, or which song is most bullshit? What's the what's the question that we're working with the audience on here?
I think it's which song is the most bullshit.
Okay.
All right. When you get down to good old San Felipe, you've had your shrimp cocktail, fresh catch of fish. After you walk down along the beach there, keep your eyes open as you shop along the streets. Yeah, when I was there, I was quite surprised. I saw Pooh Bear dancing right before my eyes. But there was something wrong with that bear. He looked like he'd gone evil, he had an evil stare. Watch the moonlight float on the Sea of Cortez. Stop in Santa Rosalia. Yeah. Watch the moonlight float on the Sea of Cortez. Stop in Santa Rosalia. Get some fresh bread. Wade the shallow waters of a cove near La Paz. Eat shrimp tacos. Drink lots of horchata. Soldiers want to ride outside San Ignacio, but they lose interest because we're going with tourists. Give me a second. I've never had this happen.
That's a lie.
No. All right. Soldiers want to ride outside San Ignacio, but they lose interest because we're going where tourists go. Get out of Cabo as fast as we can. Avoid the Hard Rock Cafe and bushy turns your scans. Just variety of the desert, such a beautiful drive. Let her take the wheel, took some years off my life. Getting lost in Mexicali was so exhausting. Guess we saw again at the border crossing. When you go down to good old San Felipe, you've had your shrimp cocktail and fresh catch of fish. After you walk down along the beach there, keep your eyes open and shop along the streets there. When I was there, I was so surprised. I saw Pooh Bear dancing right before my eyes, but there was something wrong with that bear. Looked like he'd gone evil. He had an evil stare. I got you on. All right, let's see if we can work on the performance angle a little bit. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, that's song number one. It's called The Evil Pooh Bear of San Felipe.
The evil what of San Felipe?
evil Pooh Bear of San Felipe.
Yeah, it's hard to hear your lyrics a little bit.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
But do you want to read like the lyrics after
Sure.
you do the song, and then we can. But you know, like, and just like you don't have to repeat the chorus and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. All right.
So what's the second one called?
Second one is called Ephemera. She handed me one of her flyers, asked me to come see her show. She was kind of cute, so I smiled and said yes. Dropped it after a few blocks, watched it blow away like a leaf. They say it doesn't hurt to ask. What the hell do they know? The fact is, they say a lot of stupid things. Someone ought to call them out for all their crazy beliefs. I liked you as soon as I met you. I met you as you were about to go. The only thing I was able to do for you was get you a glass of water. No one else saw you were thirsty. There's nothing to understand, there's so much to overlook. I heard a few things secondhand, made some choices on the hoof. Doing something bad don't mean you're no good. Caught up with that flyer as I headed into the metro. Almost bent down to pick it back up. The wind grabbed it again, and soon it was out of reach.
All right.
I like that one. I like them both.
All right.
So tell us about song number 3.
Song number 3 is called Party in the Sunset. And for those of you not familiar with the environs of San Francisco, you may be aware, of course, of Chinatown, Fisherman's Wharf, Ghirardelli Square, and other such tourist ghettos. But there are other neighborhoods, some of lesser note. The Sunset is on the western edge of the city, and is the sunset the way Greenland is green, owing to the way the fog rolls in. Anyway. There's a party in the sunset, and I don't want to go. Conversations of obligation, all of which I've had before, while you and I communicate the language of words unsaid. There's a party in the sunset, and I don't want to go. There's a party in the sunset, inviting you is useless. The facts I've seen in your factory, that only makes excuses. Never once heard you make a sound resembles a word like yes. There's a party in the sunset, and inviting you is useless. Oh, the social graces, trying to map names to faces. How much longer must I stay after I eat orders blend into walls? Look at all the pictures in the halls. All the while you reside so near by. There's a party in the sunset, and while I'm there you call. I can't recall ever called. We can never hear from you at all. Of all the calls, I miss the late. This is the one I miss the most. This party in the sunset. While I'm there, you call.
All right. All right. So if you have questions for the Mr. Quack Quack with the pants, flag your availability in the Ask a Question box, and I will dragoon you. I think I might get us started here with some questions that I'm going to say from the outset do not count as my questions, but I think
okay. I guess if I can adjust the rules, you can as well.
Yeah, I am actually the maker of the rules, so they are not.
You seem to be muted.
What is going on? Do we not? Is it just like 2020 all over again? We're just making up the rules as we go along.
Yeah,
like we just don't believe in democracy anymore. There's just like, what's
KK?
going? Yeah.
KK. I think on behalf of the will of the people, it would be useful to clarify the terms.
Okay.
And so these questions are not designed to probe which song is the most bullshit. They're designed to establish the rules, okay? If you want, we can have the audience vote about whether to let me ask these questions. But if the audience votes against me, I'll overrule them and ask them anyway. So it'll be more efficient if I just ask them. You okay with that, KK? Okay, just checking. So, I guess the question that I want to start with is, what does it mean for a song to be bullshit? Does it mean, are we looking for the song that has the most false statements in it? The song that involves the most claims about life that are untrue? When you say we're looking to identify the song that's bullshit, what is that? There are many ways for something to be bullshit. Mm-hmm. What do you mean, so that we can get in touch with the inner mind of Ducks with Pants and identify the same bullshit that you're identifying?
So, well, first of all, I wouldn't perform a song if I thought the song was absolutely bullshit and had no meaning whatsoever. That, to me, isn't a song. But when in the course of writing a song, one may take liberties with the facts that inspired it. And so that, I think, is that question, what I am seeking for people to unearth here. Where did I take the most liberties in writing the song in order to get the effect that I was looking for?
Okay, so if a song is entirely inspired by true events, but you've changed, you haven't reported them in photorealistic fashion, that's the vector or the delta between the two is your bullshit. Okay, yeah. Second question. Can you read us the lyrics of each song so that the audience can have having heard them, can now process the lyrical bullshitness of each one?
Yeah, I know. I anticipated this, especially since some of them get louder than others. So, with Evil Pooh Bear of San Felipe. When you go down to good old San Felipe, and you've had your shrimp cocktail, fresh catch ceviche, after you walk down along the beach there, keep your eyes open as you shop along the streets, yeah. For when I was there, I was quite surprised. I saw Pooh Bear dancing right before my eyes. But there was something wrong with that bear. It looked like he'd gone evil. He had an evil stare. Watch the moonlight float on the Sea of Cortez, stop in Santa Rosalia, get some fresh bread, wade the shallow waters of a cove near La Paz, eat street tacos, and drink lots of horchata. Soldiers want to ride outside in San Ignacio, but lose interest because we're going where tourists go. Get out of Cabo as fast as you can. Avoid the Hard Rock Cafe and pushy timeshare scams. And then there's a little instrumental. And then such variety of desert, such a beautiful drive. Letting her take the wheel took some years off my life. Getting lost in Mexicali was so exhausting. And guess we saw again at the border crossing. And then it's a repeat of the first verse and chorus.
So there aren't actually a lot of facts in there.
Yeah, it's fascinating though.
Really, the only fact is, well, I guess.
No! Don't stop! Don't analyze it yet.
All right.
We have to hear the rest of them.
All right. This was ephemera. She handed me one of her flyers, asked me to come see her show. She was kind of cute, so I smiled and said yes. Dropped it off after a few blocks, watched it blow away like a leaf. They say it doesn't hurt to ask, but what the hell do they know? The fact is, they say a lot of stupid things. Someone ought to call them out for all their crazy beliefs. I liked you as soon as I met you, but I met you as you were about to go. The only thing I was able to do for you was get you a glass of water when no one else saw you were thirsty. There's nothing to understand. There's so much to overlook. I heard a few things secondhand, made some choices on the hoof. But doing something bad don't mean you're no good. I caught up with that flyer as I was headed into the metro, almost bent down to pick it back up, but the wind grabbed it again, and soon it was out of reach. And then, let's see if I can do Party from the Sunset from memory. There's a party in the sunset, and I don't want to go. Conversations of obligation, all of which I've heard before. There's a party in the sunset, and while you and I communicate in the language of words unsaid, there's a party in the sunset, and I don't want to go. There's a party in the sunset, and inviting you is useless. From the facts I've seen, you're a factory that only makes excuses. Never once heard you make a sound that resembles a word like yes. There's a party in the sunset, and inviting you is useless. All the social graces, trying to map names to faces. How much longer must I stay after I arrive? Eat hors d'oeuvres, blend into walls. Look at all the pictures in the halls. All the while you reside so nearby. There's a party in the sunset, and while I'm there, you call. I can't recall that you've ever called. I never hear from you at all. Of all the calls I've missed of late, this is the one I miss the most. There's a party in the sunset, and while I'm there, you called.
All right. Kate, get us started.
Do you get nervous when you lie?
Do I get nervous when I lie? I guess so. I mean, it seems like there are a lot of situations. I also get nervous when I perform in strange circumstances. So I wouldn't necessarily take the flubbing on the first song, because actually weird things are happening with my arm because of the way I was positioned, as indicative of that, if that's what you're getting at.
I don't know what I'm getting at. Do you know what I'm getting at? That wasn't a question.
It sounded like a question.
No.
I think that counts.
Ben?
I want to ask whether you have ever been to San Felipe.
I have been to San Felipe.
All right.
He has to say that. He can lie.
Are you allowed to lie in the questions?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess you are. So that's
like a
question.
core rule.
Yeah. All right.
Who is going to come on and ask other questions? You normally don't have to just pepper the questions all the way through.
Ev has questions.
I think, okay. Yeah, I want to hear Eve's questions.
Hey guys. I would like to know a little more about your writing process, EJ, actually. you were saying earlier that you were looking to find some message that you want to communicate. I was wanted. Well, I wanted to know
the
what are
process
these messages are, how they arrive.
And the process is there is no process. There are different ways you can approach writing a song in terms of starting it, whether you start with more of a chord-based scenario, or you start with messing around with chords and then you fill in lyrics, or you have a core idea that you want to get at, and so you start with the lyrics and start to build chords around that, and then there's a conversation that happens between the two. But sometimes there's a process of discovery in terms of figuring out what you're trying to say and what you want to say. And other times you are trying to get at something specifically, a feeling or a thought. Sometimes it's a little ineffable, a little hard to express directly because it needs to be a song. That's why it's not an essay or something else like that.
Second question.
Are we taking turns? No?
We can be. Kate?
I'm wondering if you can give me some more specifics about the Pooh Bear stare. How did you describe it again? And why did you feel like it was that way?
It was Winnie the Pooh, but he looked evil because it was like a cheap Mexican knockoff of Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, okay.
Did he look like Xi Jinping?
No, he looked much less cuddly than Xi Jinping.
Because maybe Xi Jinping banned Winnie the Pooh because the evil Winnie the Pooh was the one being shown around China.
I don't know that story, Ben.
Oh no, Winnie the Pooh is banned in China because somebody pointed out that Xi Jinping really looks like Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, and really?
Xi Jinping finds this very offensive, and so Winnie the Pooh is banned. And if you
I did not know
tweet it, they'll block the tweet. Yeah, no, it's the Great Firewall is keeping China safe from Winnie the Pooh.
That's incredible.
I always thought I would never be able to record that song because I get a cease and desist letter from the Walt Disney Corporation, but it may actually be...
They're the least of your problems, dude.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got my second question here. So normally when we try to identify the lie, or whether there's a binary, right? And here you're telling us that there are 3 non-binary options, right? Each one, all songs contain some truth and some bullshit, and we're trying to find the one with the most bullshit among
Yes.
And so I want to ask you, what percentage bullshit roughly is the one with the most, and what percentage bullshit is the one with the least? Because it's like should be a more dramatic thing if it's like one is 90% bullshit and one is 90% true than if it's like 51% bullshit and the other two are 49% bullshit. Is one of these like flamboyantly more bullshitty than
one
the
is
others?
Definitely flamboyantly more made up.
Good. Okay. And that one, would you say, is basically a lie and the others are basically have significant truth to them? Or is there, are we on a sort of, a non-binary scale here?
I mean, if the song means something to you, it's true.
No, but we're talking about where's the lie, dude? We want facts.
You're like worse than Sarah Bond. You're like coming on to teach us some metaphor about all of history or something.
I mean, if a story has meaning to you but turns out not to be true, does that story no longer have meaning?
All right, I think I got somewhere with this question.
I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, truth is not meaning. Meaning is something different than truth.
So if the story is based on facts that are events that didn't actually happen.
Mm-hmm. It can be untrue and still have a ton of meaning to you.
Exactly. But the underlying
so what should we like testing? Which one has the most meaning to you, or which one has the most true facts portrayed in it?
Which one has the most true facts portrayed in it?
Okay.
All right. So before we go to Ev's second question, Len, here's your first.
So good afternoon. How long ago was that trip to Mexico?
That was back in 2001, I believe. It was at the end of December, and actually sent my family a message of Feliz Navidad when I think it was in an Ensenada.
Feliz Navidad in September.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what was the weather like?
Colder than you would expect, or at least being in the tropics. It was still kind of chilly from that perspective.
Why would you say Feliz Navidad in
September?
Did you say September or December?
No, December.
Oh, okay. I was wondering why you said Feliz Navidad.
Sorry, no.
You're a man ahead of your time, I know.
No.
Okay.
All right. Ev, your second question.
In the Sunset song, what can be flamboyantly lying? Like, what are the facts that could be wrong and untrue?
There could have never been a party in the sunset, ever. He could have missed a call. She could have never been full of excuses.
Or even not existed at all.
Yeah. I think we rhymed there, Ben.
Yeah, I think that's right. Is that the answer, E.G., or is there some sort of more philosophical approach to it?
No, I think you've hit on, you could go through all the lines and look at could this have happened? Could that have happened? Was there a party in the sunset? Yes, there was.
All right. So I have been trying to bring
hard.
The Reverend Dr. Hillary Livingston on to ask questions. I have failed at this. I am not a success at life. But she has questions, and I am going to read her question from the Greek chorus, but I can't find it. So, Reverend Doctor, can you pose your question? First question from the Reverend Dr. Hillary Livingston, I presume, are the songs autobiographical? And I'm just going to tweak it a little bit. And if any are not, which ones are not autobiographical?
They are all autobiographical except for the parts that are lies.
Okay. Kate, your third question.
Did you ever go to the concert that she gave you the flyer for?
No, I did not. I don't even remember where it was.
All right, here is my third question. It seems to me the key fact in that song that if it's false would make it bullshit, like entirely bullshit, is that some girl handed you a flyer for her concert and you threw it away a couple of blocks later.
Or he saw someone else do it. What if he saw somebody else?
No, he says the song is either autobiographical or bullshit. So I think that precludes him having witnessed somebody else. But do you agree that if that thing didn't happen, then this song is complete bullshit?
So I take offense to the notion that it's complete bullshit, but
or high percentage bullshit.
I would say that if that was not a true story, then yes, that would be the sort of falsehood you were looking for.
All right. Ev, Len, your second question.
I think I asked two. Oops. Yeah, I think I asked two. But what was the weather like when you got back into California that day?
It must have been pretty good because we went to Legoland afterwards.
And what was your mood that afternoon? That's the first question.
We were in Legoland.
Yeah.
And how old were you at Legoland?
What else?
I mean, 20-something. I'm allowed to go to Legoland if I'm 20-something.
That sounds right. All right, thank you, Len.
You know, you get to ride your Legos when you land when you have grandkids.
Len, I missed your story about how I woke somebody up the other time.
Oh, well, I was listening. I have a bunch of your tracks on SoundCloud. And I didn't realize that somehow when I closed everything on my phone at bed, when we went to bed, the SoundCloud was still active. And I happened to tap it in the middle of the night. And you just blasted out in the middle of the night. So we're in bed with the two of us.
Interesting.
Excellent.
Way to put it.
All right. Thank you, Len. Ev, your third question.
Why did you choose these songs? Yeah, I figured that you have a whole lot of songs. Why these ones?
Because these seem to have the most color to them that could be spoken to in this manner. I mean, truth be told, I would have rather have played the songs that I have coming up for release or are out now, but they didn't seem to lend themselves to this sort of interrogation.
All right. So Ev has asked 3 questions. Len has asked 3 questions. Kate and I have asked 3 questions. So we need 2 more questions from the Reverend, which I think she has sort of incorporated Jay's question by reference. Oh, I see. No, that's sort of a joke question. So, I think we are basically done with questions. So, let's have the big reveal. First of all, this is your chance to vote, members of the audience. So far, we have a pretty substantial lead for Ephemera. Which is to say the flyer for the concert being the bullshit song. I am going to bring Len back and I'm going to bring Ev back for their verdicts. And but first we're going to get the Reverend Doctor's verdict in the chat. Hillary, what do you say? Hillary abstains. Her verdict, she says, is I have no idea. Ev?
I'll go with the group and go with Ephemera.
Ephemera is bullshit, says Eve. Len?
So I was tempted. I was thinking of Pooh Bear until he explained what Pooh Bear was. So, but Ephemera is so wonderfully complex that I tend to believe it in an odd way. I mean, it's an odd story, confusing, but I still believe it's so. Oh, Party with the Sunset was so much fun. I guess it has to be Ephemera after all. No. I'll stick with Ephemera.
We have 2 votes and an overwhelming vote from the audience for Ephemera. KK.
I was gonna vote for Ephemera, but now I'm just to be difficult, I'm gonna vote for Party in the Sunset.
And what's your, other than being difficult, what's your rationale for that?
Well, I thought that the Pooh Bear song was it was by far the fact heaviest, like the most concrete things and names and places and food eaten and drinks had and activities done in specific spots. And so it like struck me to be the type of thing that would like a type of kind of blissful the type of blissful kind of like couple of days that you would have in Mexico and like come up with a song for. And then ephemera just seems like poetical, like it would be the type of thing that you'd write after a breakup and would be true because even though it's thinly sourced, you just like had this type of like feeling about it, right? Like that you saw like the flyer fly away and like maybe you chased after it, maybe you didn't, but like I don't know. It just feels like it could have been something that had happened and be poignant in that moment so that it consolidated in a song. But the sunset one just sounds like maybe you picked some words that kind of went together and like everyone's had a moment where they might be invited to a party and they're hoping to see someone and then I don't know. So that was like, I think that's how I'm making my determination. So number 3.
So, Hillary, you changed your vote. You said, if forced, you will vote for Pooh Bear. Make the case for Pooh Bear, and then I will resolve and tell you what the answer is. All of you, not you in particular.
Okay, well, thanks for having me on. I moved over to my Christmas tree because it's prettier than the back of my recliner. I thought all the songs are really cool. I guess I went with Pooh Bear because it is the most detailed. And I thought having all that detail would make it more, fanciful. So that's why if I had to pick one, that's what I would pick.
That's fair.
All right.
I thought of that as I was saying my explanation, Hillary. I agree.
I think it could go both. I think it could go either way.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go with Kate on this. And here's my rationale. So first of all, the Pooh Bear one is a trap. It is there because it has this fantastical element. So you're supposed to think, oh, it's like a monster story, so it couldn't be true. But really the story is he went to, Cabo and liked some parts of it better than others. And I think the fact that he knows when he came back they went to Legoland, I think that shows you that this is true. And so, he saw a Winnie the Pooh and it looked evil. That can be either.
I feel like that's something the Ducks with Pants would say about Winnie the Pooh.
Exactly. That's kind of in the poetic. The whole story can be true, and that's an interpretive mechanism.
Exactly.
So then we're down to the other two, and here's why it can't be ephemera, and why the whole audience is wrong. Because ephemera, what's the story in ephemera? It's that he was handed a flyer for a concert and didn't go to it. Everybody in the world has been handed a flyer for a concert and didn't go to it. And therefore, that story in its essence is true for Ducks with Pants, and it's true for everybody else. That leaves the third, which is why I am going with Kate against the vote of the audience. Kate and I seldom agree on this.
I know, we do seldom agree.
We are in the same
similar
place,
rationale, too.
Which almost certainly means we're wrong. Ducks with Pants,
right.
The big reveal.
Well, I'm glad to know that the audience has faith in me that I am not a litter bug. That aspect of the story is made up. I've handed out many flyers and had them summarily dismissed or left behind, usually at the music venue in which I handed them out. But the whole framing device for that song is in fact made up. There is no specific incident in which I handed a flyer and let it go and then almost picked it up in the metro. I was surprised nobody asked me about. feel surprised nobody asked me about the metro station in San Francisco that this might have been at. I suppose it could have been down in the Castro. But anyway, the core of the story was actually the glass of water. That was the truthful part. As far as the Party in the Sunset, it wasn't a call, it was a text, but call was easier to rhyme. So, but the essence of that happened. I went to the party, and while I was there, I got sent the text, and that she was annoyed, oh, you're at a party in the sunset. So anyway, as far as Evil Pooh Bear San Felipe, all completely true, although I didn't actually avoid going to the Hard Rock Cafe. I do recommend avoiding it, though. Because Cabo is nothing more than extensive, more LA, as opposed to anything particularly interesting. I recommend staying in La Paz and maybe going up to the area around Mule instead. Ensenada is also cool.
Wait, so hold on. The audience was right and Ben and I were wrong?
That is correct.
Oh my God.
This is a dark day.
It is a dark day.
You and I are united in defeat by the audience.
I know.
You all suck, people. I never liked any of you.
Seriously. Wait, so Ducks with Pants, like, tell us more about your artistic process.
Yeah, let's and about your new stuff.
Well, I mean, the artistic process is you start writing a song and then you become obsessed with it. You have to finish it, whatever that actually means. And so it's very iterative, and you run into walls and frustrations. You put things down for years, realize you just had to change one word, and then suddenly the song is done. The new stuff, I actually have two projects in flight. The one has decided to actually take off, or to come to a landing, I guess you might say. So back in September, I recorded an album at Hyde Street Studios here in San Francisco, which is kind of famous for various albums that have been produced by the likes of Herbie Hancock and Santana. And I decided to splurge and get a backing band and all of that. And so that is what I'm currently releasing singles for in the run-up to its eventual release date in April. It's an album called Alien from an Alternate Earth. And some of the songs folks might recognize because I have a full band version of the Octopus song with cool jazz band, West Coast style backing and all of that. And now going through the whole process of, trying to releasing this and getting and submitting to different blogs and getting the feedback one gets. Party in the Sunset will be on the EP that comes after the album, which I've been working on over the summer with somebody in Nashville, the same person I worked with on the previous EP, Nashville Recordings Volume 1. But the EP will be called Mental Maps.
Cool. That's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah. So,
go ahead, KK.
No, I was going to ask, what was your thought process? How did you pick these 3 songs for when Ben texted you today or tweeted at you?
So I was initially thinking I would just do Evil Pooh Bear San Felipe and have people try and pick that one apart. But then I thought, let's, since I often introduce the ephemera one as, containing a lie, that I am not a litter bug, that perhaps it would be fun to juxtapose the different songs together. And Party in the Sunset.
That conceit.
I do like that conceit. That's interesting.
Party in the Sunset was the nice sort of medium. It's all based on events that happen, but you have to make minor modifications in order to get things like rhymes and so forth. So in the end, so I think, but it was sort of winging it at the last minute because I hadn't played ephemera in forever. So I thought that was the one I would struggle through the most. It just happened when I was starting out. I got kind of off to a rough start.
I do think that I'm a little surprised by the I don't know. I thought that ephemera had like a je ne sais quoi of kind of like of something that like you had, something that was very mundane, but you had felt deeply like as it happened, and it felt symbolic, and it like you were trying to convey that like in kind of.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was, I think, why I ended up with that sort of framing device, because most of it's just dinner monologue that has nothing to do with this story that's framing it. But it does revolve around the particular, memory of going to see somebody, and they were playing a show, and they obviously needed a glass of water, and it was like, get this person a glass of water so they can actually sing. And sad to say, this person did not stick around. So, and that's just, sort of fits in with, these things that get created and stop having meaning because, the show happened, it passed. And that was sort of the loose connection I made on, and, sometimes you just sketch these things out and they happen, and you just come up with this idea and it seems to work and it seems to fit. So you go with it. And you don't necessarily question the rationale. But, as I said, songwriting advice that I've heard more than once is you don't let the truth get in the way of a good song.
All right. So now we come to the passing the torch part of the where's the lie with the audience. Which member of the audience do you want to nominate? We will bring that person on to see if he, she, or it accepts the torch and will be our where's the lie with the audience next time.
We have so many esteemed members of the Greek chorus, and I would say, I'd like to see Dr. Hillary Reverend Livingston participate.
Well, let's bring her on and see if she accepts this challenge, because I would love to see Hillary Livingston play Where's the Lie as well.
Hello.
Are you game?
Sure. I may not be very good at it, but I'll give it a go.
Excellent.
They're going to make a Reverend Doctor lie?
I know she can tell a true story. People just might think she's lying.
Fair enough. Go.
So when do you want to do it? Name a day.
Well, what are my options?
As you know, we do this 5 days a week, and we seldom have a guest scheduled before the day in question. So I think if you pick a day next week, you are pretty set.
Okay. Next week
or the week after.
I was gonna say maybe the week after. Next week's Christmas, and that's like my busiest. That's like,
she is, that's
like you are like
kind of
our
time of year.
And all that.
But sometime between like Christmas and New Year's, maybe like the Monday after.
Monday the 27th.
Sure.
You are on the calendar.
Okay.
Plays Where's the Lie. All right, it is on the calendar, and Ducks with Pants, you are a great American, and thank you for doing this on the remarkable spur of the moment. He really did respond to a tweet inviting him to do it. Hillary, you have a bit more time to prepare.
All right. Maybe I'll think of like a weird like dating experience from seminary or something.
That would be awesome. Although you've just
I'm like
yeah. All right. We are gonna wait with bated breath for the weird dating experience from seminary story. Ducks with Pants, thank you for joining us. KK, do we have a guest for tomorrow?
in the morning. No.
I don't think we do.
Oh, yes, we do. Wait. Yes, we do.
Oh, we have Nate Pursley.
Nate's coming on tomorrow. You might not be here, but Nate's going to be here, and he's going to be talking about his new bill that has been introduced by Klobuchar, Coons, and someone else I'm forgetting. But anyways, he's going to be on talking about it, and it's that will be 23 hours and 5 minutes from now.
And until then, ducks with pants.
We're not allowed to have fun anymore, but we can go to E.G. Phillips's website and give him all the spins on all the streaming services, so he gets all the monies from Spotify.
And what is the website that we can all go to?
Duckswithpants.com.
You heard it here first, folks.
We will see you tomorrow. Give E.G. Phillips all the spins and ask yourself with every song, is this bullshit?
And also, maybe don't do it in the middle of the night with your wife next to you.
Particularly not loudly.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. We'll see you soon.